Let's start with Sunday Night Football. Why not? Not a revenge game. And Aaron Rodgers told us, essentially, he's going to go full Favre, which is get drafted. His drafting pisses off the veteran that was there. The veteran that was there dilly-dallies about wanting to stay there. Then Rodgers finally gets that start. He becomes a first-ballot Hall of Famer, only to have somebody drafted to kind of piss him off. Then he stays there, goes back and forth about really wants to be there. And then the team essentially sends him packing to the Jets, just like Favre, right? And then that craps out. And then he goes somewhere else with a chance to win the Super Bowl. Okay. And then basically will wind up in the Packer family, retiring as a Packer, and he'll wave to fans for the rest of his career, and the Packers will have a relationship with him. Because that's what he said this week, is that he doesn't view this as a revenge game. Mariucci said on Game Day Morning, it's more of like a remember me game. You know?
Okay.
Well, and that's basically making sure the fans in Green Bay know. Did you know he played 18 seasons with the Green Bay Packers? That's the most of anybody there ever. Yeah. 2 more than Starr and Mason Crosby and Favre. Nobody's ever played 18 years for the Packers. And so, as I mentioned, totally got it, totally believed it, that he isn't viewing this as a, I'll show you, you should have kept me, because he already did that by winning 2 MVP awards after they traded up to go take Jordan Love to surprise Rodgers. And basically, as we said last week, his revenge games were played for the Packers while he was still a Packer. And then he realized his time was up. Let's go see where else he can play and win. And he's 4-2 going into last night's home game, wearing, throw out jerseys, if you don't mind me saying.
Like throw them out, like get rid of them?
Yeah, get rid of them. Throw them out. Throw out jerseys. I don't know what they're, whatever. But long story short is he's out there in the throwback jerseys from the Great Depression. And now the Packers, yada, 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 put the Steeler fans in a Great Depression, because the Packers showed up last night with the kid who's all right. And you got to give it up to Jordan Love, man. The day would come, we all figured that he would play against Rodgers. And we all knew this was the year when Rodgers went to Pittsburgh and the Steelers had the Packers on their home schedule. And we found out it was going to be a Week 8 Sunday nighter. And the folks in the league office, you knew, would serve it up on that piece of filet mignon for the whole country. And they did it on Sunday Night Football. And all Jordan Love did in the game in which he was on the same field as Rodgers, trying to go point for point with Rodgers, and Rodgers would get points on the board through the leg of Chris Boswell 3 times to take a 9-7 lead in this game, and then a 16-7 lead in this game, a 9-point lead in a game that the Packers just overwhelmed the Steelers in the second half, because Jordan Love, all he did was come up against Aaron Rodgers' defense, but in a game in which he's going against Aaron Rodgers, the highest passer rating of his career, 134.2, 29 for 37, 360 passing yards, second most in his career, 3 touchdowns. 4 games now with multiple passing touchdowns and no interceptions this year. Only Jalen Hurts has more of those. 16th career game with multiple passing touchdowns and no interceptions in his 40th career start. The only individual all time who has more such games in his first 40 career starts is named Patrick Mahomes. You're going to see go at it tonight. That's what Jordan Love did last night. And the Packers come up with their 4th win of the season, decided by 2 or more possessions. 5-1-1 right now. They took over this game in the second half and popped 35 on that Steelers defense to win by 10, 454 yards of total offense. You know, Matt LaFleur could not have been more pleased, and he said exactly what was on everyone's mind when it came to Jordan Love finding Tucker Kraft is tight end on National Tight Ends Day, and then Christian Watson comes back. All he does is catch 4 balls for 85 yards coming off of the PUP list, and LaFleur took to the mic afterwards about Love.
It's great for Jordan. Jordan's worked his ass off to get here. He was patient throughout the process, throughout the journey, and he took advantage of the opportunity. He really did, and I thought, it's been cool. I've said this many times, just to watch how he's matured as a young guy coming in here at 21 years old, and he's a grown-ass man now, and you see it, what he does, how he carries himself. He just is so confident. He's a great teammate. He encourages the other guys. He's a hell of a leader, and he's really grown as a football player.
I don't blame him for gushing about him, right? Because it was grooming for this moment. Jordan Love, after the game, had this to say about the moment.
Yeah, for sure. There's that, like you said, there's that added level of pressure. I knew coming in this week, this is going to be a very hyped up game and very talked about game for A-Rod coming back and playing against the Packers for the first time. And, obviously us going up against each other. So, that. And like I said at the beginning of the week, my mindset was just trying to come out here and focus on getting that win. Try and block all that extra stuff out and just be the player I need to be and focus on what their defense does and find ways to take advantage of that and coming out here and getting this win. But definitely I knew coming into the week what was entailed in this week.
Yeah, and the way to take advantage was to just keep finding Tucker Kraft, career high 7 receptions for $143 and 2 receiving touchdowns. The last tight end with 140 receiving yards and 2 receiving touchdowns in a primetime game is named Travis Kelce, who we'll see tonight on ABC and ESPN's Monday Night Football. And Christian Watson did what he did. Josh Jacobs did what he did, which is come up with his 70th career rushing touchdown. Tied for second amongst active players with, this is insane, Josh Allen. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Emmanuel Wilson got 61 rush yards, too. I mean, it was all cooking. All cooking as Love became just the third quarterback in Green Bay history to do something, which I'll tell you about on the backside of this soundbite that I'm sure he dreamed about when he was backing up this guy in Green Bay, wondering when he would ever get his shot to play a game and start a game for Green Bay, let alone go against this guy.
Yeah, I thought J-Lo played great, and he was super efficient. He didn't get sacked, moved around really well, made some plays outside the pocket. Thought he played outstanding.
I mean, Rodgers wanted to have the best game of his life last night. And even though it was not a revenge game, which, again, I believe, because there's tons of people he adores there, but he wanted to show up and show out.
Yeah.
And for him to, again, say it was outstanding. It's honest, and it's also cool of him to say that, because I'm sure, again, Jordan Love sitting in that quarterback room, soaking in as much as he could from Rodgers and taking whatever advice he could get or hoping he would get. And then turning into the quarterback that did what he did last night against Rodgers' defense in a game against Aaron Rodgers is a dream come true for Love, who joins Rodgers and Brett Favre as the only quarterbacks in Green Bay history to throw for 350 yards, no interceptions, and no sacks taken in a game. Oh, he also had 20 straight completions in the contest, tying Brett Favre for the longest streak in a game by a Packers quarterback this century. So he got it done, and this is exactly what we all talk about. Certainly, if you're a national show like we are, or if you're in Wisconsin, or you are like our audio executive and owner of 2 shares of the Green Bay Packers, or one, because you gave one away. Because you're a big man.
Well, yeah,
I mean, it's so valuable.
Yeah.
You gave away your one and a pet rock to somebody. Is that, and this is amazing, last night they showed the stat during Sunday Night Football that 97% of the games since 1992 for Green Bay have been started by either Favre, Rodgers, or Love. Cooper at age 14 goes, "Dad, that's insane," says a 14-year-old born in 2011. You know, and it's nuts how you go from one guy to the next to the next. Obviously, Jordan Love has got a lot to go to join Rodgers and Favre in the ultimate pantheon of Super Bowl winner and first ballot Hall of Famers. But last night just kind of confirmed it. And then you look again at what Love is doing for this team right now. As he turns 27 next week on Sunday, he'll play on his 27th birthday for Green Bay, taking on the Carolina Panthers at home. That age 27, as we know, is when Bart Starr won in 1961 for a championship. It was Favre's age when he won his Super Bowl for Green Bay. It was Rodgers' age when he won his Super Bowl for Green Bay. And this Green Bay team is set up to make that run. They're currently first in the NFC at 5-1-1. And that NFC North is shaping up just like last year, where the winner might be the 1 seed and the loser might be the top wild card. First place gets to have a week off. Second place gets to go on the road to take on somebody like the Rams or the Seahawks or the Bucks or the Niners. Good luck. That's the way it's shaping up right now. Packers and Lions, by the way, kick off your Thanksgiving triple header. That will be big. Lots of big games between then, including the Packers and Lions, both taking on the Eagles, who we'll talk about in a second. But Green Bay is that team. Young guys on defense buzzing around everywhere. Micah playing at the top of his game right now. Really, like the guy who needed to be worked in, wondering about his back, how many snaps can he give you? That guy's gone. The Micah that we've known from Dallas is showing up, which is Rashawn Gary and the rest of that front seven coming at you. And then on offense, it's a whole host of guys that you don't have on your fantasy team because you don't know if it's going to be their night or not. Okay? It was a Tucker Kraft night last night. You probably do have him in your fantasy league, but you don't know who's going to get it. You have no idea who Jordan Love's going to pick you apart with. A bunch of people where you're like, really? Well, hold on a minute. Oh, yeah, he's available in 95% of leagues. That guy who just scored. That guy who just came up with a first down. They're young and fast. They've got a run game, and they've got a quarterback, and they got a coach. Yeah. And we talk about the Colts destroying people. They've got the best record in the league, and the only one-loss team in the league at 7-1. As I mentioned to start this whole segment, Green Bay has won 4 games decided by 2 or more possessions. Only Indianapolis has more with 5. Green Bay's win last night gave them 6 games of scoring at least 27 points. Only Indianapolis has more with 7. So right now, the Packers are an elite team. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.